Arsenal, the last couple of games, Shay, what have you made of it? Because if you know, the own goals to beat Wolves, that penalty against Everton, even the League Cup semi-final in midweek to reach the League Cup semi-finals, you know, it was really, really tough penalty shootout.
I think there's two ways of looking at it. One, you could say a good team don't play that well sometimes, but get the job done, which is one way of looking. The other way of looking is they look a bit nervy. There's a bit of tension. Manchester City, obviously, we know how good they are, 2 points behind. Are they twitching a bit at this early stage? Because it's still only halfway through the season. There's still so much football to play. And I think for any neutral who loves the Premier League, that's what they want to see. We want to see Aston Villa, we want to see Chelsea, we want to see Man City, you know, Liverpool. And of course, Arsenal challenging all the way to the last couple of games. Can they do the course of the season? Can they get over the psychology of coming second so many times in the last number of years? That is the big question.
Yeah, because everyone makes a lot about being top at Christmas. They've been there a couple of times and not gone on to win the league.
Do you know what? I think they looked like they were going to run away with it, Arsenal. They were by far the best team. They probably got the deepest squad. You know, goal scoring was an issue last season. They seem to have addressed that. They drew too many games. They seem to address that. I think the positive is they're still getting results. Last season they would have drew a lot of these games. They're finding a way to win games. And definitely they're starting to feel a little bit of the pressure, but that's normal. You know, after what's happened the past few seasons. But I think now they have a squad that can actually manage this pressure, and they need to do it together. There's not many guys in there that have won the biggest trophies. You know, I think only really Zubamendi and Marino, obviously with Spain, but with club, there's not many guys that have won. So they're going to have to do this together. Even Mikel, they're in this journey together. When he took over, 6 years ago, they were nowhere. And he's built them up to be one of right now, the best team in the Premier League. But the only way they can get to be one of the best, or one of the Invincibles, is win it. And they're so close, they're so complete. But I think this pressure time right now, they need to find a way to get through it. And I think they are getting through it.
Do you think they're psychologically scarred a wee bit because they've finished second in the last three seasons, whatever?
Do you know what? I think...
Or do you think that's something that they'll use as a strength?
I thought they overachieved in many ways, finishing second. I don't think they did it without a striker, without the squad depth. I think now with Gyökeres and Madueke and Eze, I think all of a sudden now they have a squad where they can compete with that. But I do think they're in a good position right now. I think they have virtually everything: the goalkeeper, the back four, but they need to find a way to get through this little blip. They're not playing great, but they're still winning, Jules, and that is the most important thing.
Yeah, you talk about squad depth, but the truth is that back line has really suffered. They've played Christian Norgard at centre-back. They've played Jurien Timber at centre-back as well. They've got 4 first-choice centre-backs, and yet they've not had all 4 of them available. They've certainly not had Gabriel. They've had Saliba out as well. Nketiah's injured now. Mosquera's injured. Anyone's going to struggle with that.
Yeah, that's true. And maybe you could say they recruited heavily in the forward areas because they've got so many top players going forward, but it's still, I think they've still got enough numbers. Calafiori can play in there, Ben White can even play centre-half. There's different options for Arteta to play in that position. And again, I think the midfield in front of that, Declan Rice again having a phenomenal season.
Zubamendi's been great.
Zubamendi as well. They've been so powerful in that midfield and attacking areas. You know, you look at Odegaard be missing, you step Eze up to the plate. You know, they've got so many different options. Havertz as they come back into the team as well. Jesus has just come back fit now. They've got so many players.
Trossard's underrated, isn't he?
Yeah.
Trossard, Martinelli's got up with some important goals. I mean, the names and they just go on. And that's what Arteta's done. He's built a great squad. But what you would say, he's been backed. I think he spent nearly £1 billion on this squad of players. You'd like to think he's got strength and depth. But what that does do, Jules, it brings pressure as well. It brings pressure to him to deliver a big trophy. And they're in a strong position now, but still a lot of games to come.
Yeah, and just as I mentioned, into the semi-finals of the League Cup now, facing their London rivals, Chelsea, in that two-legged semi-finals. Can they win a trophy? Can they win more than one trophy? Will they?
Of course they can. I think they've been one of the best teams in the Champions League as well. And I think what they've got to learn to understand is pressure is a privilege. They've earned the right to have pressure, expectations, but now they just got to finish the job. They can win multiple trophies this season. They got to go over this little hurdle. They're finding a way to win, not pretty, but I think they got to embrace the pressure. If they do, they can have one of the most spectacular seasons they've had ever.
Arsenal versus Brighton to come. That's one of the games to look forward to this weekend.